Hi, everybody. Welcome to Offensive Points. We're going to do a mock draft. This is going to be not only a way too early, kind of like obnoxiously pointless at this point, because we got rookies, we got free agent additions, we got coaching changes, we got everything. But we love fantasy football, and we got to get it going here. So today for you, we have a 12-team Dynasty mock draft. And we're going to go through, kind of explain why we like our picks. Obviously, we have some bots in here, so we're going to explain why we like or don't like their picks at that spot. That'll probably get pretty interesting here. But, football fantasy's over for last year. Now we're on to this year. I always like this part of the season better. This is where you put all your planning and your gizmo and gadgetry into planning your team for next year. So, Josh, Billy, what's up, guys? You ready to do this?
Absolutely. Looking at this, the rankings are slightly off from even what I would say they are now, but also it's a little bit of a weird combination of last year and this year, or this upcoming year. So it's going to be interesting, but we'll kind of work through that. But also, I think it'll just be kind of fun to see what where we all stand on some of these guys that we'll probably.
We're using Sleeper's default rankings, and their Dynasty rankings make a little bit more sense than their redraft rankings right now. I don't think they've fully updated the redraft. I did a practice run a couple days ago, and Justine Jefferson slipped at the third round, which is not going to happen in any draft that anybody's going to be in. So,
no, it's not.
We are going to do this how it should be, I think. Okay.
You ready to kick it off?
Do you want to just get this going?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm starting it now. Joseph, on the clock.
Immediately.
Justine Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson right off the start.
So, my man is going into his third season. He was fourth in targets, fourth in receptions. What was that? Second in yards and sixth in touchdowns. This guy's pointed up in Dynasty. What we're looking for is, I'm always planning for the next 4 to 5 years. He's hitting his prime. He's a great cornerstone for the team.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Jonathan Taylor's still in that number one slot for me and Bill, really. But
yes.
Other than that, unpacking, I love the Justin Jefferson. I think that he is arguable on number 2, on number 3, and even number 1, as Joe has proved. But really, of these other picks, the only one I'm seeing that's really out of whack is Kamara being number 3. I am very down on Kamara going in. Everything else looks fine so far, other than it's all about preference too.
Who you like is about what I would do.
Yeah, you guys have done a lot of dynasty leagues with me. I refuse on a startup to take a running back unless it's the perfect place. I love starting off with wide receivers because you have the greatest lifespan with them. Yeah. So that's my thoughts there.
I think even in redraft next year, I'm going to be pointed more towards wide receivers, to be completely honest with you. I'm not going to be one of those crazy advocates for
zero running
backs, but I think that there is a chance that you can get better value from them. So my pick,
I'm going to you're running out a little bit of time here.
Continue to do such a thing, and I'm going Davonte. I think the Davonte is
in a senior living facility yet?
Not yet.
He's 29. He's still got at least 3 good years in him, and he'll be fine. I think that by choosing Davante Adams here, I'm just expecting that he's going to go to a good team next season, and we're going to end up with a good place for him to finish out his career. If he doesn't stay in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, which is always on the table as well.
Well, this is also
overlooked in Dynasty. 100%.
This is also kind of similar to Justin Jefferson, is not that he's going to be moving teams, but he will probably be moving quarterbacks soon. Kirk Cousins will not be there forever, and Jefferson probably will be. So that could look interesting in the future. And I will say these computers did really well on this back end. I like everything that they did. I'm actually, and they're going against rankings because I had Jamar Chase pulled up to grab on my combo pick here.
Yep, the Sleeper app does kind of throw curveballs in here every now and then. Every team's supposed to have a different strategy to mock. So Jamar Chase going 9 is beautiful. I mean,
I have Jamar Chase in my top 5 in Dynasty.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I have no arguments with anything they did there, and I'm really proud of it. I'm just going to pop one real quick just so it's there. So at looking through the rankings here, and number one, I've been a huge Eckler supporter, but the rankings for running back get really rough in the next 24 picks. So I have to grab one that I think is going to at least score points this or next year or both years and kind of have something. And Eckler is that guy. So, but anything else about these computer picks here?
I think Swift and Chase were absolute steals there. I would have them up in probably 5 and 6 based off of this draft. I would definitely have Kamara and McCaffrey out of there, but everything else looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, everything looks good so far to me as well.
All right, so this pick is actually really hard for me because I thought I was getting Jamar Chase, and this pick doesn't not make sense, but the rankings are a little low on Sleeper, which is nice for this pick, but I'll go ahead and do it. It's starting to look like my dynasty team all of a sudden.
Can't get the screen to go over to your team, so you're just going to have to explain who that is.
Well, I grabbed my man Cooper Kupp, so don't worry about that.
Nice.
You already know. So with this pick, I have the opportunity to go grab a wide receiver or get a second running back, which somehow running back didn't go heavy. Mixon is still on the board at the moment. I did debate on him, and I debated on Chubb as well. But I think Cooper Kupp here getting an elite number 1 and number 2 running back on the year. So I'm getting promise for at least the next couple of years. I'm not building a young team as some of these other teams have gone so far. Like that Henry Lamb stack is really nice because you got a young wide receiver, an older running back. You get 2 good years out of him. You can compete right away and still have something for the future.
The Chase team started out so good, and then they went Barkley. However, you're getting Barkley at 16. I mean, if you're that hopeful, if you like Barkley, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
The problem is
he chose Barkley in Dynasty.
He chose him over Mixon. And I think, he couldn't do the Mixon Chase stack. I think that'd be a little rough. But
maybe it's a Cincinnati fan. These bots, man, they're big Cincy fans. Okay, well, I'm going to go with who I probably should have taken first, but he fell to me all the way into the second round. And this is one of my favorite wide receivers to go after in every draft so far. And that's Mr. Debo.
That's fair.
If you would not have taken him there, I would have taken him at my spot.
Debo Samuel at 15, I guess that's 18. Love it. I'll take the Adams Samuel stack for the next 3 years. Probably can win with that. We'll just punt on running back for now.
No, Debo's a huge grab there. Elliott, honestly, in Dynasty, he went 210 here. If you're doing a draft now, he's probably going to be in the 3rd or 4th round just based on his age and everything, but he's kind of a steal at that point. He was running back 6 this year, so he's still got it in the tank. Let's see. What should Joe do here?
I do like the McCaffrey Mixon stack. That Team 4 has some juice. Harris Gibson's also good.
I was going to say the Harris Gibson's actually where I'm at right now. That would be my favorite team.
Javonte Smart, that's a top 10.
Javante's a good one there.
Yeah, Javonte, it scares me. Melvin Gordon was here. They could easily re-sign him. They could easily bring in another running back. They have a new coaching staff coming in there. But I like the talent I saw with Javonte. He looks like an absolute stud. So happy to grab him as my number 1 running back. And let's see.
Kyle.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I hate you.
Stacking him there. Josh, what do you have to say about that?
I actually was just flagging some players for the next round for me. And I was like, Kyle Pitts. And I was like, nah, please. Nah, I don't need that. And then you grabbed him 12 picks before I would have even thought about it. So,
well, Joe decided to trigger a little tight end run here as Travis Kelsey and Kittle go right after he takes Pitts.
See, I like Kelsey. And I obviously like Kittle because of how young he is, but even Kelsey, you're still getting 3-4 years out of him in Dynasty right now. If you're drafting, don't stray away from these not older players, but not young players, because they can still, that team has some problems in itself, but don't stray away from Kelsey and don't draft Kyle Pitts over Kelsey because Kelsey's only going to get you 4 years.
I got to talk between the tight ends there, the bot took Cam Akers.
I actually kind of am liking that team a lot. If he's Taylor and Akers.
How do we feel about Akers?
Back to back, or Taylor and Akers building that with Metcalf. That's a solid start for Team 2. I'm liking that. Well, Team 5 has just decided to go all young running backs. I like that strat too.
I hate that strategy.
You don't want
running
to go
backs
all
are
young
so
running
volatile, man. Running backs are so volatile. That's why I went Kyle Pitts there.
He's going to make sure
all
that
of them are young.
Has one, and that's
all of them are young, and he can get a wide receiver. Let's see what he does with his wide receivers in the future. Because if he goes and grabs all Amari Cooper
in Dynasty, though, you can always trade for a running back. You can always flip a late.
Well, you can always pick up a Cordell Patterson off of waivers or something.
Yeah. That's not true. You can't trade a late first for a good running back like the ones he has.
That's probably true. But I'm saying, like, James Robinson, people got him off of waivers last year. And this year, Cordell Patterson was off waivers. I'm taking Big Mark. The tight end market is a little scary to me right now, so I'm going to go ahead and grab one.
I love it, dude. Round 3 is the tight end quarterback run.
2 quarterbacks off the board in round 3, which is interesting. I guess, if you're going to take 2, but Allen goes over Mahomes in a dynasty startup. Fascinating.
That is pretty crazy. I was actually just debating on the quarterback slide because I knew it would happen eventually if I didn't grab one here with 12 picks to go, but I can't do it. I can't do it yet. And I can't believe that quarterbacks and tight ends. See, the thing now, I imagine, I don't know what these bots are regulated to do. And you guys both have tight ends. You guys might grab quarterbacks on your next 2 picks, but I'm waiting till it comes back to me at this point because there's no point in grabbing a quarterback that isn't those 2. I mean, I could grab Kyler. I could grab Herbert.
I'll say there's Herbert
Herbert would be a good pick, but the problem is that team is going to change a lot. So it's going to be really hard for me to go and slide. And then Waller will probably get grabbed at some point. So there's enough talent out there for me. I don't need to do it right this second.
In Dynasty, it's so important to have that young quarterback, though, because you don't have to think about it. The problem I have in Dynasty a lot of the time is with the larger benches, people just take everything. There's nothing on the waiver wire, unless there's an injury or something. But having that young quarterback that you can just put in there and not even think about it is huge.
It's true.
So Mahomes and Allen's not a bad move there.
No.
I should probably make a pick,
Tyreek, Chubb team. I like that one too.
Now I want to talk about this for a second because it's not the sexy pick. There's nothing beautiful about this pick, but Montgomery has been a consistent in Chicago. And I have a feeling that whatever new coach, maybe Doug Peterson comes in, is going to utilize David Montgomery well because he's done well. So
I think you're right about that. Montgomery's a good pick.
And it's one of those things that he's gotten overlooked. He didn't play 5-6 games this year and still had a great year. So
I like it, man. It was a solid pick.
No, I know you like it.
I love it.
All right, who's your next pick?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know we were ready. I was going to let you guys chat about stuff.
We kind of talked about all of the teams that are up there. I don't like Team 10.
I don't like Hopkins right there.
I don't either. Oh, well, okay. Now my worries are gone. Waddle's a solid pick. If you're going to pick up Hopkins,
I did debate on Waddle. I went Travis Etienne, which you can't see, and with James Robinson's ACL tear and what was supposed to be Etienne's job anyway, I think he comes in and not only takes over, but establishes himself as a young rookie running back. He might not have the most phenomenal year when James Robinson comes back, but eventually they're going to move on from James Robinson, and Travis Etienne will be a household name. So
that real quick, that 10-7 run right there, the Deontay Johnson, Higgins, Ridley, Waddle, McLaurin, even that was studly to be able to get all those guys in the 4th.
If you can, if you can get Waddle or Higgins in the 4th round at a startup, that's really good. That's really solid for you.
So the cool thing about doing a dynasty draft right now is where you're going to be able to get Ridley. He obviously has his off the field issues going on right now, but he is looking to get for a trade. Might be on the Eagles, might be on another good team. He's not going to go somewhere where he's going to go to a rebuilding team. So he's most likely going somewhere where a quarterback knows how to throw the ball. So expect him to have a pretty good year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, looking for the best for him.
Exactly. Lamb, Deontay Johnson stack's really good. They're building clearly around Derrick Henry. I can't wait to see who they get later for running back. Team 7, bot team. Good job. My pick, I'm going to go with my first running back, and I'm going to take Mr. playoff Lenny Fournette. 26 years old, best year of his career so far. I mean, he had some good years in Jacksonville. I don't want to take anything away from that, but I think his arrow is only pointing up as long as Tom Brady's there, and Tom Brady's going to play for another 3 or 4 years. So I like it.
You think
and then
so?
right after you, Tom Brady's
Why
not
not?
going to play for that long. But
Said that 5 years ago.
our boy Murray and Herbert, Kirk Herbstreit just got drafted.
Yep,
Throwing a wrench in Joe's quarterback plans because I imagine that is at least a conversation.
I think
in
you
his
can
brain.
get some good quarterbacks.
There's plenty.
I'm not too worried about it there.
Plus, this is not super flex, so we're okay.
The Keenan Allen pick there. As much as I love Keenan Allen, I am not excited about grabbing him in Dynasty right now. I think if you own Keenan Allen in Dynasty, this is the time to sell after this year. I think he has another good year in him, maybe 2, but you're not getting much else out of him. And after the year he's put together, which nobody expected at all, he is older. He should have some good years. Herbert's obviously a big fan of him, but yeah, I'm not sold on keeping Keenan Allen in Dynasty right now. Love him in redraft though.
By the way, anybody listening to the podcast version of this show, we will be going over pick by pick at the end of the draft so that it's not confusing that we're just jumping around from team to team. Because obviously they won't be able to see what we're looking at right now. But
if they can't see it on the podcast, that's weird.
On YouTube, they can. On the podcast, they can't.
Got it. There it is, Joe. That's what I wanted to see.
Michael Carter. Absolute youth right there. You got to imagine, I mean, this team's got talent. They're just going to keep building. Michael Carter has shown that he's very electric with the ball in his hands. He's a good receiver. In a PPR format, to get him in the 4th round, at the end of the 4th round, I'm very happy about that one.
Yeah, I mean, you could have, if you pick, would have got him in the 5th round. So,
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm not a huge fan of this pick, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to grab DJ Moore. It's my number
Smart
2
move.
wide receiver.
Well, that was the first
they're
time
going to get a
drafted,
quarterback too.
That was the first time you drafted someone that wasn't a rookie or a second-year guy. So
yeah,
your team is looking very youthful.
Yeah, very youthful. Even DJ Moore, he's 24 years old.
Waller goes off the board right before me, which was 5th tight end taken.
And then in between that, Josh Jacobs
kind of the cutoff
finally
line.
went.
Yep, Josh Jacobs went 5-4. I'm going to go quarterback here. And this is kind of exactly who I was hoping would fall this far. So I'm very proud that he was able to fall.
Joey B.
And yep,
I already knew it before you
Mr.
thought.
Joseph Burrow. I am taking the swag king, as he has been in Cincinnati so far. I like the way this man plays. He's got weapons out the ass. He's going to be good for 10 years.
Yeah, he is locked in with weapons.
Yes, he will never need another weapon.
I don't think anyone's going anywhere. Now.
So after my Joe Burrow pick, it was Hawkinson, which is smart if you need a tight end. He's still on the way up. Miles Sanders, Allen Robinson, Michael Thomas, which is very interesting. That's 5'10" overall. Kind of. What would you all do? 5th round.
Go though. I mean,
that's about where I would.
28, 29. He's a solid receiver.
I'm trying to think who
I would have picked him over Cooper and Robinson, who both went this round.
I think there's still a few people on the board I would have taken before him, but Michael Thomas is solid.
Now, I like getting Allen Robinson at the end of the 5th there.
I like that as well because he is on a new team next year, pretty much without a doubt. Also, Miles Sanders going in the late 5th should be pretty good. Hawkinson as well, getting surrounded by tight ends there. Joey Burrow.
Yep.
All right, now this is the first time
Lamar Jackson going too,
and you guys can pretty much assume what I'm going to do here.
Jalen Hurts.
Grab myself some Jalen Hurts, and then so now I thought this was a 2 flex league, and what I would love to do is grab myself an AJ Dillon, and the reason why is Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Davonte, Adams are all out of the Packers within the year or 2 years, most likely. So I love the AJ Dillon right here, but I already have 3 running backs, so I got to fill out the wide receiver slot. And so I go and stack it with Davonte Smith.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
that.
I like
Interesting
it.
tactic.
Well, Davonte Smith had almost 1,000 yards receiving this year with being the only wide receiver on the team. So this man's only going to go up. And whether or not I missed on this Jalen Hurts pick, which I could have, but I could have not. This man is pro ready. He brought his team to the playoffs these last 8 games. It's a bit of a homer pick because I'm an Eagles fan, but the stack is really nice as well. And Davonte Smith, fantasy-wise, wasn't the best this year, but I have a feeling his year 2 will go a little bit better.
Yeah. So as far as the 6th round goes, we got Ayuk, Pittman, Kareem Hunt, James Robinson, and Kenny Galladay. Galladay going at the 6-6 spot, which I don't think that's a good idea.
Now, Michael Pittman, before you get to Galladay, I was going to take him over DJ Moore up at the beginning of the 5th right there. Michael Pittman finally showed what he can do this year, and if he either grows with Wentz or they bring someone else in there, he has the makings of a true wide receiver 1. I mean, the man's talented, so getting him there is a good value.
Absolutely. Joe has been a Michael Pittman truther since day 1, maybe even before day 1. I'm not 100% sure, but
I knew him when he was a baby.
He knew him was a baby. There it is. Got yourself AJ Dillon.
Got myself some AJ Dillon. I like where he's headed. I think he's on the way up. And if Aaron Jones finds himself out of town, which he did sign a new contract, so maybe not right away. But AJ Dillon kind of came on to be the better running back towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and is that a saving Aaron Jones for the playoffs, or is that just AJ Dillon's good? Because he runs like a little man with big man size. So,
well, they call him, what's his nickname? Something about thighs. I mean,
last time I talked about people's thighs, Saquon didn't do so well.
He's got quite the thighs on him.
And then we got some Elijah Moore, Chase Claypool, Jared Jeudy, Elijah Mitchell after AJ Dillon there. So
I'm upset Elijah Mitchell went there.
So Eli Mitchell is, I think, well, you can just stop and talk about him for just a second.
You don't want to get 2 Jets on your team, though, either, Jeff.
Mitchell is very interesting. Is Shanahan sold on Mitchell? Now, I'm not saying when Mostert comes back, he's going to be involved, but does he just reload with another running back, Shanahan? Because I don't think he ever intended Mitchell to be the RB1 there. And while he did come on this season, is that the answer for him going forward? I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, his role was pretty defined this year. When he was in, he was the guy. So
the problem
is him there would be
every year it's a new San Francisco running back. I'd be terrified. But in this late 6th round, I mean, almost 7th round, can you be mad at it?
Right. I get it. It's just makes me a little nervous.
I agree.
I understand.
All right, Joe.
So I'm going to fire off at Dak Prescott, 28 years old. The man has got weapons out the yin-yang. He'll be just fine in that category. So I love getting him in Dynasty. For whatever reason, people just aren't very high on him for whatever reason there. But I love getting Dak there. And then looking on
I was going to grab him, but it's against my religion, so I didn't.
I totally get it.
But no, I'm surprised he made it that far because there's 2, 3, 4 teams without quarterbacks right now, and they went for okay players. Someone grabbed Chase Claypool over him. So Sun God.
Taking the Sun God in the 7th. I mean, the dude gets fed targets. He's always open. He's very shifty. I love getting him there. That's in a PPR, DJ Moore can put up those massive games. Justin Jefferson can put up those massive games, but St. Brown's the steady Eddie with the opportunity to put up a lot of huge games there. But just based on catches alone, a lot of points there.
It's very good.
So the 4 picks in between you and Bill, Marquise Brown, Hollywood, then Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Tyler Lockett. I love the quarterbacks there, Rodgers and Wilson, waiting till there's literally 2 teams that don't have a quarterback and grabbing 2 of the steady vets who are going to play for at least 2-3 more years. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, probably more than that. And then Marquise Brown and Lockett, I'm not a big fan of either one of those picks. I think it's about right.
Yeah, there's one team on the board. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. That's team 10, 5 wide receivers, 1 running back. Got to see where he's headed with this. Not that I don't like his strategy. All wide receivers, 1 running back, and that running back is Swift. It's really smart, but I don't know where he's going as far as quarterback and tight end go. So I'm going to go wide receiver, one of my favorites, and I think he's going to get a quarterback upgrade, and that's Cortland Sutton for Denver Broncos. I think that he has a very high target share coming up without Teddy Bridgewater involved. I think that Cortland Sutton, who just got a new deal, is going to be back and better than ever when they call upon him next season.
Yeah, that was a really solid pick there.
Yeah, that year, I think Sutton's going to slip and redraft as well, which is good. Unless Aaron Rodgers goes there, then they'll immediately, him and Judy will both get bumped up. But both of these guys, and along with Noah Fant, are both going to have great years. I'm looking forward to whatever. Hopefully, I just hope that they get a quarterback. They need it so badly.
They really do.
So after that, it was James Conner, Damian Harris.
I don't understand how you could go into a draft having Damian Harris. I mean, this dude's got running backs, so it's his 4th running back. But Damian Harris in a dynasty scares the shoot out of me.
So it was Rashad Bateman, and then Team 10 went wide receiver again. Adam Thielen. I am beginning to wonder if Sleeper's bot system maybe didn't figure out how many positions you needed for one team, but literally he still needs a quarterback, a tight end, and another running back to field a team with just the parameters that we've set. So we'll see what happens.
I grabbed the Sun guy just because I thought Team 10 was going to snake him from me. So
well, Team 10's ready for battle when it comes to tight end. Or I mean, clearly he's going to have some trade assets, and I appreciate that. But maybe he's going to go heavy in the rookie draft.
So, yeah, I don't know. The Pollard pick though was pretty awesome for Team 11 there. Stealthy. I will say, just in case that Zeke train just ends one day. So here I am grabbing Joe's favorite player, Mr. Moonman, who he can't see right now.
Oh,
yeah. No. So I need a 3rd wide receiver with Davonte Smith, still relatively unproven, and with Cooper Kupp eventually going to be aging. Got to grab a rookie who's stellar and who has the opportunity at this point. I mean, another wide receiver will be on that team this year. They'll sign something out of free agency or get another rookie, but he has rapport already with Justin Fields and all the other 7 quarterbacks on that team. And then
there's only one quarterback on that team, Josh.
Yeah. Okay. And then this makes me look like a homer, but there's no way this man should be living to the 8th round. So I got myself Dallas Goddard, and Dallas Goddard is going to have a great season this year with tight end. I imagine these numbers will be bumped up.
Your team having 3 Eagles is so on brand. It hurts.
I completely understand.
Every single one.
I completely understand. I didn't even want to grab Davonte Smith. I probably should have grabbed Goddard there, and then I would have avoided this whole mess. But Dallas Goddard is going to have himself a phenomenal year, and he is the last worthy drafting tight end right now until like later. So
fair enough. Okay, so after Josh picked his homer pick, Chase Edmonds goes off the board. Then the wide receiver heavy Team 10 went Noah Fant, finally picking a different position. Smart. And then one of the dumbest picks I've ever seen. Myles Gaskin goes in the 8th round. Myles Gaskin will not be starting for Miami next season. If nothing else, it's because they have a new coach who will finally find them a running back that is a good running back, if nothing else. So that was a weird one to me. Team 8 goes Chris Carson. All right, after that, Chris Carson does not appear to be playing anymore in Seattle. With the amount of injuries that he has piling up, he's got 5 running backs, so I guess, volume is king with that team, but I don't think I like that one either. But, not my teams, so they're free to run them how they want.
That's true.
All right, so for my pick, kind of an interesting spot here because we're finally down to the players that, kind of looking a little bit more towards the future with. And I think I'm going to go this direction and pick Ramon J Stephenson from New England. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. I think between him and Harris, that's going to be a dynamic running back for years. He's the goal line back, If anything, he's going to LeGarrette Blount his way to the top, and I am happy about that.
Yeah.
So after my pick,
Stevenson looks like a dog,
Yeah.
man. He looks great.
After my pick, it was Juju Smith-Schuster, Hunter Renfrow, which I'm pretty sure slipped all of our minds because he should probably be.
Nope, I actually almost picked him over Goddard, but I had to get my tight end.
Really, in the 8th round? I guess I had forgot about Hunter Renfrow. It's a weird pick to make it that far. Mike Williams, which shouldn't be an NFL player, according to Joe, and then Brandon Cooks, who's old as dirt. But if you're getting him this late, I guess I can understand.
Yeah, and Mike Williams didn't make the playoffs, so you're right, Joe. He doesn't belong in the NFL.
No,
playoffs.
he doesn't. He doesn't at all. Now, those 4 wide receivers are real solid. Juju's probably going to have a new team next year. He's going to be solid. Renfrow scares me with Waller because Carr totally likes Waller more. Renfro's always going to get those, kind of cheap yardage catches and everything. But I think what we saw this year is going to diminish, especially if they add another wide receiver. Mike Williams is only doing this because it's a contract year. And I like Brandon Cooks there. So, I mean, those 4 are solid. I don't mind it. I'm going to take Melvin Gordon here for my pick. I've got Javonte already. If they do resign Melvin Gordon, I've got that backfield locked up. But if he does go somewhere else, I assume he's going to at least split work or be the starter. And the man still has fresh legs. I mean, he's missed some time. They really haven't asked him to do that much. You've seen it this year with the massive yardage gains. He's still got it. So I like Melvin Gordon right there. And then, man, this is where it gets tough.
Yeah, you're kind of taking hope at this point.
Yeah, a little bit. I love loading up on wide receivers here, so it's tough here.
Got 2 picks left, Joe.
2 picks. Let's see. All right, just to get it going here. Michael Gallup, he's injured, but he's going to be on a new team next year, hopefully. And we've seen what he can do with limited work. So if he starts getting more, he's going to be real solid there.
Oh, we got backup quarterbacks going off the board now.
I love that Trey Lance pick, though.
Team 5, with Murray starting and then Lance maybe taking over. Not horrible.
Not a bad team.
They have a well-filled roster.
Yeah.
I like see. That's what happens when you go running back.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It is.
I mean, those wide receivers are solid.
It might be great for half a season until they're all injured.
Joe, your team is great for the future and going to be able to build upon that for years and years. But that team is going to have conversations over years.
That's fine, man. He can have his 1 year and then everyone's hurt or injured. That's fine.
If Dobbins actually comes back with a vengeance, he would have a great year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for my pick, I'm going to go back to the wide receiver pool and pick up Mr. Kadarius Toney from the Giants. He didn't really get to do a whole lot this year. He had one really pop game, and then he got hurt and was kind of muddling around a little bit for the rest of the season. Never really got to play. But I think now that they got Gettleman and Joe Judge out of there, maybe we can finally use Kadarius Toney properly and have him healthy and ready to go.
I like it.
After me, it was Cordell Patterson. I don't think he's long for this world and Atlanta. He might come back. I don't think he will be very helpful, though.
He did slip off at the end of the season.
He did. Tyler Boyd, Matt Stafford goes after that, which not a bad pick. He's supposed to be there for a couple more years. Team 10 and their wide receivers went with Darrell Henderson. Going to be in the market for running back still, I think. And then Julio goes after that because we're just running out of players and the bots don't know what to do.
Because we're just running out of players. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Julio might retire at the end of the season.
He needs to.
Damn. I mean, I wasn't going to go that far, Joe, but okay.
He does. Boyd in the 9th was good. I like that pick.
Oh, man.
All right, so what I grab here is Devin Singletary to fill out my running back room. At the moment, he is the man on the Bills, and Josh Allen has been giving him the ball, and the coaches love him. So to fill out my running back room, I got Eckler, Montgomery, Etienne, and Singletary, and I am fine with that. Very young talent. Eckler's the oldest, I think, at 27, 26. He'll be 27 next year, though, by the time this actually takes place, though. So, and then this one, mainly because I'd grab wide receivers later, and usually I might grab a backup quarterback or something at this point. but I'm going to go with Irv Smith here. So Irv Smith was supposed to take over for Minnesota. It might be a little early, but as I see now, backup tight ends are starting to roll off the board and or first tight ends, actually, I guess. So I grabbed two tight ends before some other people have even grabbed one. I love Freiermuth as the next pick, but Irv Smith, I think, in Minnesota is going to have himself a good year. Look what Kyle Rudolph did for so many years. So
goes after that to team 11 to finish off their team. Team 10 with 5 wide receivers in a row went Justin Fields, or 6 wide receivers in a row. Justin Fields isn't a bad quarterback. There's still a lot to be desired there, but it's not a bad start. Dalton Schultz and Dawson Knox go back-to-back after that, and then Ronald Jones for the team that just took Patterson. There's a lot of rebuild in Team 7. But
Team 7.
We'll get to that during the recaps.
No, snagging a backup tight end here is not a bad idea because in Dynasty, you can have a great tight end, which I highly recommend getting. You have to have that number 1 tight end to be competitive, but when they get hurt, there is nothing on the waiver wire. So grabbing a good backup, like Patty Freiermuth was going to be my pick if he made it back to me, but clearly he didn't.
Freiermuth is going to have a really good year coming up. Whatever quarterback replaces him, it's going to be better than what he had this year, and he still made it work. So,
fair enough. All right, well, I'm going to take kind of a shot in the dark here, just based on how he's been playing. But I'm going to go with Chard Penny for Seattle. There's a chance that maybe he stays the lead guy in Seattle going forward. There's always a chance. I mean, they spent the draft capital on him, and he's finally showing what he was capable of.
I debated on it for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
I was wondering when he was going to go. Trey Sermon went right after him, which God only knows what's going on there.
Not
Trevor Lawrence, solid dynasty quarterback there. Alexander Madison, who even when he's had the job, he's had a couple good games, but he really hasn't taken hold of it. And then Hunter Henry, good in the red zone. Nothing else.
That is his starting tight end, though. So that is,
he's got some tight ends.
They're filling out their rosters at this point too. They probably wouldn't have even grabbed tight ends if it weren't for that.
Well, Team 4 grabbing Yank. I mean, Team 2 is probably like, damn it.
I do realize that Sleeper still has Henry Ruggs ranked here.
I was hoping that didn't happen, so we didn't have to go through.
We can gloss over that real quick
of why that pick wouldn't have worked out.
For another controversial pick, I'm going to grab Deshaun Watson.
I mean, nice. Okay, well, that's fair enough. All right, let's break these down team by team. Joe, we'll let you go first. Explain your team. Let us know what you think.
I mean, I definitely had to make adjustments as the board fell on this one. I had a plan coming in, but I wasn't able to pull off exactly what I want to do. But I think getting a core of Jefferson, Williams, Pitts, and Carter, even DJ Moore is solid. The oldest guy of that group is 24 years old. So, I mean, for a long time, I've got at least those 5 in play. I followed that up with Dak Prescott, who he's really talented. I mean, he showed it the last 2 games. If he gets his head in the right spot, he is very dangerous. So I like having Prescott. He's 28. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I believe, is 21 years old. And he is, in my opinion, one of the best number 3 receivers that I could have in this league at this point. Melvin Gordon, if he stays in Denver, I have Jamal Williams handcuffed. If he leaves, I have another running back there that's probably going to start. I love Gallup. He's extremely talented and has a good opportunity. And then Deshaun Watson, he's still really young and he's still very talented. So if he can get through his legal stuff, whatever happens there, I at least got 2 studly quarterbacks for the remainder of. I won't have to worry about quarterback for several years.
Okay. So I'm trying to think how to do this for the people on the podcast. Maybe I'll just go team by team and we can go.
Why don't we alternate? I'll take team 2.
Alternate. Okay. Explain team 2 and explain what picks make sense, what doesn't make sense.
All right. So team 2 got Jonathan Taylor on the second pick because Joe went Justin Jefferson, which is fine. I think their pick would have been Justin Jefferson otherwise. Then they grabbed DK Metcalf a little early there, but wanting to get a good receiver. And then they went Cam Akers, which is probably where you're about to get Cam Akers at this point. And then they got Justin Herbert because the quarterback train started falling. Mike Evans, Elijah Mitchell, Marquise Brown, Cooks, Odell Beckham, and Hunter Henry. So they started out really youthful, and then they got a little older as they went on. Marquise Brown, I get why he went there in the 7th round, but at that point, it's hasn't really shown it in the first 3 years. He's had good games, but not a good season. Cooks, you got a couple years out of him, and then Odell, I get why he's ranked, but he shouldn't be. And then he has the worst tight ends out of the league. So yes, he could have, as this draft continued with the next, 5 or 6 picks, he could have grabbed another tight end, but he's lacking at a couple places. But the thing is the youth core is there. The wide receivers just are a little lacking.
I agree. Okay.
So yeah, I actually like DK there though.
I do too.
I think it's a pretty solid pick. I think he's a massive buy low in Dynasty right now. You're not going to get him low just because he's a freak in nature. But if
Russell Wilson leaves, you might.
Yeah, if you can talk someone down off him a little bit, I think it's a really good buy. And then Cam Akers, it's the ultimate roll of the dice here. They re-signed Sony. Daryl's still going to be there, but we saw what Cam Akers can do in the 3rd. It's rolling the dice, but I like it there.
I think Akers is going to sneak up in the 2nd round. By the time we get to like August, I think he's going to sneak up there.
Yeah, he has the number 1 running back. Reports on it at the moment. He could very easily go off in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. It looks like he's playing. Looks like he's fine here for now.
He played against San Francisco. He didn't play much,
but Metcalf, I will say he did go at the end of that elite tier of running back or wide receivers there. So
literally the next one to go after Metcalf was Hopkins, which I think we can all agree is a step down. Maybe Goddard later would be up there. We'll get into that. Okay. So I'll take team 3. He went Kamara, 3rd pick, Elliott, 2nd round, Kelsey, Edwards-Helaire, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Aaron Rodgers, Mike Williams, DJ Chark, and then Alexander Mattinson. So I don't love the running backs. Seems like there's a lot of question marks there. Elliott's kind of been usurped by Pollard a little bit this year, so I don't really know if how that's going to shake out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has had some good games, but the career has been disappointing for where he was taken in the draft. And if you took him in Dynasty, you could have gotten him 2 years ago up in the 2nd round, and now he's all the way down in the 4th round at this point. And Kamara is good, but what situation is going to be good for him? Is he going to need Russell Wilson to be there? I think if he went there, we would be all happy about Kamara at 3rd.
I think Kamara, the skill level's still there. The team is not there, and they're not even using him whenever you think they would just use him. So
yeah, it was a weird year for him. So maybe we can just chalk up what happened to him at the end of the season as they just didn't want to get him hurt, but they were making him push for the playoffs. So I don't know why they would have done that.
Agreed.
But moving down further down, Amari Cooper, solid pick. He's probably going to go to a different team. The wide receivers, Cooper, Elijah Moore, Mike Williams, and DJ Chark, 2 of those are probably going to hit. I don't know which 2. 2 of them are going to be busts. I don't know. We'll that's something he would need to figure out later on. But it's a decent enough core of wide receivers where it can compete. Aaron Rodgers is obviously a solid quarterback to have, at least for the next 2 or 3 years. And then Mattinson was kind of a throwaway pick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hate the Madison pick, but
all right, Joe, take team 4.
All right. I hate this team. I absolutely hate this team. I like McCaffrey. Taking him in the 4th there, in my opinions, it is what it is. We've seen what McCaffrey can do. There's talks of him being traded. He's been injured, so it's a huge wild card at that point. I would hate to start off a dynasty draft with that sort of risk, but I can see it. Mixon, it's impossible for me to believe that dude's only 25 years old at the time of this recording. He seems like he's been in the league for the last decade. They have bright things in Cincinnati. You have to assume that they're going to address the offensive line, which would open more up for Mixon. So I don't mind that there. Kittle, really solid pick. He's young enough. I think he's 28 at this point. So he's going to be a decent anchor on this team. But really after that, it gets wild. Keenan Allen, we've seen what he can do. He's awesome. But in a dynasty, is it awesome? How old is he? He's 29. So yeah, he's 29 years old. He's getting up there. He's probably got another season or 2 of good run there. Josh Jacobs, good for youth, but we don't know what the hell is going on in Las Vegas. Even when he's had the opportunity, they seem like they want to get Drake involved. They want to get Richard involved. I wouldn't be surprised a new coaching staff comes in and then they draft a running back this year. Claypool, he's showing flashes. I don't see it with him. I don't see him being a perennial good player. He's going to have some big games here and there, but I guess where you got him in the 6th, it's fine. Russell Wilson is 33 years old at this point. It's a good quarterback. We don't know where he's going to go next year. We don't know what kind of receiving core he's going to have. So I don't mind the Russell pick at all. Hunter Renfrow, I already made my case with Waller, and I assume they're going to draft a running back as well. Let me say this. I would not invest highly on the Raiders in a dynasty league. He's got Renfrow and Jacobs. So
he got Renfrow in the 9th round, though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. So. It was a good spot where he got him, but I'm not thrilled with Renfrow. Mike Gesicki, I don't even know what to say about this guy. He makes the most athletic plays, and then he's completely non-existent on there. I think getting a good quarterback will help him, but I don't know. I don't like Gesicki. And then Trevor Lawrence, I don't know. Cards are completely up in the air on him.
I mean, it's good it's good if you have Russell Wilson to take your quarterback that young.
Yeah. Get him in the 10th, fine, but I don't like that team at all.
Gotcha. All right, Josh.
Team 5.
We need to make this quicker because we should do this.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a big fan of Team 5. Najee Harris, Gibson, Dobbins right off the bat. He's got really young running backs right away. Kyler Murray and Darren Waller for his skill positions, or opposite of skill positions, quarterback and tight end. Fine. He got Waller later than where he was going this year, but that's a little much. And then I don't really like what he did on the back end. I love me some Jerry Jeudy. This is about where liking this team stops. Because Jerry Jeudy had about 900 yards in his first season, and then his second season was a little rough. Lockett without Russell Wilson is nothing. So unless he gets traded with Russell Wilson, I just don't like it. Juju Smith-Schuster, Lance, and then Trey Sermon. Juju, I like to hope that this man has something in the tank, but the fact that he's being drafted at the bottom of the 8th, I don't like it. And then Trey Lance and Sermon. Lance, sure, does a good pick, but Sermon, he doesn't deserve to be on a roster at this point, especially in 10 picks.
No, not yet, especially when, there's probably better talent still on the board, especially in a dynasty league. All right, on to my team. So I went Davonte Adams, Deebo Samuel as my first 2 rounds. I'm really big on building around wide receivers now. That's going to be my strategy for all of next year, and I just wanted to see how it would play out when we were doing this. Davonte Adams still has at least 2 or 3 more good years in him, so I know I don't have to worry about it. And Debo's 25, so I know he's going to be good because clearly Kyle Shanahan loves Deebo Samuel, so I'm just going to ride that love.
With the running game, too, I mean.
Yes, exactly. He's probably going to get RB eligibility next year if everything, maybe.
Cordell Patterson status.
Exactly. So after that, Mark Andrews, I think, he went after Pitts, Kelsey, and Kittle. I think Andrews being the 4th tight end, that's great for me. He's younger than Kelsey, so I think I'll get him for a lot longer. Fournette was my first running back. He's only 25. I think he's a sneaky 25 because I don't think he might be 26, either 25 or 26, but he's a sneaky 25 or 26. He's still got a couple good years left in the tank. The way that he runs is very violent. Did get injured this year, but I think going into next year, he'll be solid with Tom Brady. My quarterback's Joe Burrow. No need to explain that. He's got the best weapons in the league right now, and don't see how you can't build around that. And then I ended out the draft with A.J. Dillon and Cortland Sutton. Their situations, I'm really hoping for the future that their situations are going to clear up a little bit. That'll be better for me. And then I ended the draft with Stevenson, Toney, and Penny. Stevenson and Penny, I'm hoping they can get a better shot going forward. We'll see. And then Toney, I need to figure out what the Giants are going to do, but if they do end up having a good offense, I want a piece of that puzzle, especially if they get Russell Wilson or trade for one of these quarterbacks in the offseason. I would love to have Toney going into whatever that new offense is going to look like.
Toney would kind of slot in right as Tyler Lockett. Right,
you would think if Russell Wilson went there and peppered with targets, I'll take that every day of the week.
Well, Joe Judge is gone, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the Giants can do.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, Joe.
All right, Team 7. This team started off awesome. They started off with Henry. He's a little older, but we know what he does. CeeDee Lamb, Josh Allen, Deontay Johnson, TJ Hawkinson. I love the start of that draft. That's huge. He's got youth. He's got talent. He's got superstars. He's got guaranteed work there. Now, Kenny Golladay in the 6th round.
Back to the Giants.
Just said, I like it. If it's on the Giants, if they do get Russ, if they get an improvement in quarterback, he could be an absolute steal. And then he completely goes off the rails here going on there. So James Conner, we don't know. I mean, he looked good this year when he was running, but we don't know what his future holds. Robert Woods is coming back from an injury. Cooper Kupp's kind of taken his job, and he was pretty inconsistent there, so he needs to build a rapport with Stafford. Cordell Patterson, people don't understand. This man's 30 years old. He's been around the league for a long
31
time.
next year.
Yeah. His role and what he did, it was awesome this year, but where he got him in the 9th round, it's fine. But then he follows it up with Ronald Jones, who we don't know at this point. He's had the opportunity when Fournette was out. He really didn't do a whole lot. He had one good game, I think, but
he also got injured in one of those games, though.
Yeah, but we have to see what the future holds with him. I think he's a phenomenal pure runner. He's great in Dynasty. Where he got him in the 10th round, I'm fine with it, but he kind of went off the rails at the end there. With the start that he had there, he's got a great core. He's going to do some scrambling here at the end, though.
He was playing catch up on running backs, basically.
Yeah.
So team 8, I actually didn't realize how much I liked this team. Start off with Dalvin Cook. We all know he's elite and, has his bad moments and has his great moments. AJ Brown, he's a star and he's going to be a star. He's debatable to be a top 5. He's got Mahomes, so I don't need to say anything more. T. Higgins is one of the most underrated wide receivers just because of Jamar Chase at this point. I think where he got him is a steal. I actually almost grabbed him 4 picks earlier. And then I love this 4 running back combo here. Sanders, Robinson, Harris, Carson. Now, Harris and Carson obviously both have a little bit of a situation where they might not have a job. Carson's neck injury is very concerning, obviously, and Damian Harris, slightly. The Patriots running backs, when they don't start, they seem to fizzle out, basically, except for Rex Burkhead, who has a starting job right now. And Miles Sanders, James Robinson is phenomenal. He's basically just trying to fill out his running back room here, and I love it. I mean, he's got 5 running backs. I think that's one of the most, probably the most out of this draft. And then Tyler Boyd and Dawson Knox to finish it off. Not sure why he went back to the well with Cincinnati, but I like your style. And then Dawson Knox had himself a pretty good year with Buffalo.
Thing is, if you're going to get in an offense, it would be something like this. Kind of like Tampa Bay when you get Godwin, Edwin, Evans, or Antonio Brown.
I just see a lot of anger in his future with the Higgins starting the wrong one.
Agreed. And he's going to need to pick up some more wide receivers too, because that's not.
Well, there was still, let's be real, there's 4 more rounds left after this.
Agreed. All right. On to team 9. They started with Jamar Chase. Love it. Could have probably gotten him in the top 5 of a dynasty draft. Goes Barkley and Jones after that. Not really a big loving that in the 2nd and 3rd round because they are wishy-washy at best. And then speaking of wishy-washy, you got Calvin Ridley. We're not really sure what his status is. He's probably going to get traded. Depends on where he gets traded, but it could end up being good. Allen Robinson, also probably headed somewhere else. That will be interesting to see where he ends up. Still think he's got a lot of good years left in the tank, so we'll have to see what he can do wherever he goes. After that, he went Kareem Hunt, Rashad Bateman, and Myles Gaskin. Myles Gaskin's a wash. He's not going to get taken in any drafts. Kareem Hunt, I'm interested to see. He's still got some years in Cleveland, or at least one, and then we'll have to see what he does after that, but he should get some good time. Rashad Bateman really season. Lamar is not a big fan of Bateman because he cannot throw it to him. That's a whole other thing for a whole other time. And then he ended the draft with Matt Stafford and Dalton Schultz. Matt Stafford, whatever. It is what it is, but he's good in the 9th round. And then Dalton Schultz, I hope that he can take a stranglehold on that, but with not knowing how Blake Jarwin fits back into that mix, I think it's a good pick. I'm not positive that it's a good pick, but we'll see.
Fun fact, I was going to grab Matt Stafford as my 9th pick there to back up Hurts, but I didn't have a chance to because he grabbed him. So I like me some Stafford. You get 2 years out of him.
Yeah, Stafford is a good pick there. Probably got longer than 2 years out of him.
I'm just saying at least. I'm saying, bare minimum. I mean, he right now is like 14th, I think, for the most yards in history. So, I mean, people have doubted Stafford his entire career. He was on the fucking Lions, and he has 2 of the best wide receiving cores or wide receiving records because of him. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Matt Stafford's the GOAT of not Tom Brady's.
Team 10, the wide receiver team. DeAndre Swift at the 10th pick was huge. I love his future with the Lions. He's super dynamic. He's good. I like the Stephon Diggs pick. He went Hopkins, Waddle, Thomas, Pittman, and Thielen. I think you could have kicked Thielen off on there. Tony Pollard went the next pick. That would have made more sense to me there. I like going. I mean, Hopkins in the 3rd. You're getting a superstar wide receiver. We don't know how much in the tank he has left. We love Waddle. Waddle's an absolute stud. Michael Thomas could come back and be awesome. Michael Pittman, we already know I love him. He's a wide receiver 1. Thielen, I don't think should have been on this team. Noah Fant, solid tight end. We'll see what happens with the quarterback there. He hasn't shown us that much yet. Darrell Henderson is this man's 2nd running back, and we don't even know where he fits in on his own team at this point. And then Justin Fields is a starting quarterback. Justin Fields, super talented, throws a really good downfield ball, uses his legs, new coaching staff, and some work on that team, getting some more talent out there could be huge for him. So I like the Fields pick. I like the idea on the wide receivers, and I love the Swift pick, but this guy is going to be playing catch up for a couple of years.
There was a point where they just needed to stop on wide receivers on this team.
Yeah.
6. There's only 3 starting spots you can put him in.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind it. I love loading up on wide receivers. I think I drafted 4 on there. So I love having the depth at youth and wide receiver, but, Thielen's older. He's probably got another year or 2 left. Thomas, we don't know about, and Hopkins is older. I mean, if you went Diggs, Waddle, and Pittman right there, that's a pretty solid wide receiver core, and he could have done a lot more with his running backs.
Yeah. All right, I'll talk about Team 11 just so Josh can get to his at the end. Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb, Chris Godwin, first 3 picks. Love it. Don't have no problems with any of those picks. And then you got Terry McLaurin after that. Again, no problems. As far as talent goes, those first 4 picks, you can't go wrong. Maybe would have gotten a running back, but you can't hate those wide receivers. I'm not a big fan of Lamar Jackson. I've said that in the past, but getting him in the 5th round, not bad for his age and for the Ravens scheme, for his running ability, all that. It's a good pick. After that, Brandon Ayuk was in the 6th round, Tony Pollard and Chase Edmonds. I think that's about right. I mean, Tony Pollard and Chase Edmonds, I think going forward could end up meaning a lot. And then Brandon Ayuk kind of came on towards the end of the season for what we expected of him, but he still didn't quite get to what we thought. But getting him in the 6th round, he's still got a lot of career left. He's only like 24, I think. And then he ended the draft with Julio Jones, which is kind of just laughable, to be honest. Not sure he's even going to be in football next season. And then Patty Freiermuth as his tight end. Don't hate that either. Whatever rookie quarterback goes in there, or if they end up getting a journeyman, they'll like having Patty Freiermuth down at the end zone so that they can get some touchdowns.
I actually really like this team sans Julio Jones, but everything else was done really well.
Really, they need one more running back in between there. If they would have just skipped Lamar Jackson and grabbed like Stafford or something later, it would have been great.
I mean, you could have taken Pittman above Ayuk. I probably would have liked that a little bit more, but not the worst thing.
I was trying to get my team in there so you could see it, but we're not going to look at that. I'll tell you what it is. So I went Eckler, Kupp, Montgomery, Etienne, and I love that because I'm a running back heavy team. But I grabbed myself a wide receiver since I'm at the back end of the draft. Had to get one before they were all gone basically. And then Monty, I have a feeling, is going to have himself a really good season this year. One of those running backs who just completely gets overshadowed every year. And I will tell you to draft him. Before his injury, he was a top 10 running back. And without that injury, he was a top 5 running back. So obviously Khalil Herbert's there and they're going to utilize him as well. But whatever this team does in the future, Montgomery is going to be a big part of it. Etienne, I already talked about with the James Robinson injury. Etienne will hopefully be able to retake what he was supposed to be. And then my homer picks come with Jalen Hurts, Davonte Smith, Mooney, Goddard. I just realized I have 2 Bears and 3 Eagles, but those are the teams I like. And Mooney.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's be real.
All right, my apologies. Mooney was a solid pick in the 7th round. That man is the number 1 wide receiver on Chicago. Hurts and Davonte Smith, I'll never regret taking that pick. Those 2 picks right there, I think that combo is going to be great. And Dallas Goddard is a top 10 tight end, so I got him in the 8th round instead of getting Hawkinson or Waller, who Goddard scored more points than both of those people. So, and then I finished off with Singletary and Irv Smith. I have a feeling Irv Smith's going to be really good. I've been a big homer on him before he ended up getting injured this year. And with Minnesota's, kind of in that limbo and not making the playoffs again, they're going to be in a weird situation coming in. And then Devin Singletary, he's the starting running back on the Buffalo Bills right now, and there's nobody even close to being at him. So I think that was a solid pick at the end. Just kind of even keeled approach here. Went ahead and backed up my tight end. I would have backed up my quarterback too. Like I said, I would have grabbed Stafford. So just like
as
to make sure
as Buffalo Bills don't do anything stupid in the draft and get a running back, but seems safe for now.
For the 9th pick, though, I mean, in an early draft.
Okay, we got some comments. Apparently, Team 4 looks like a winner.
What? Hopefully that was a joke.
They don't like our picks.
It was because multiple people. I'm assuming
that
this
was
is
me.
Jordan.
No, that was me. I commented back. Yeah, I was trying to interact with our fans, man.
Oh well, I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure that's Duchesne's. He's on the IDP army, but he likes Team 4.
Ugh.
I mean,
why?
People like CMC, man, and
the
starting
CMC,
out with CMC and Mixon
is not bad. With Mixon, that's a potential 1 and 3 running back in the league. I mean, 2 top 5 running backs. I mean, if
what you did after that killed me.
Yeah, the wide receivers are a little rough. I like Renfrow. Keenan Allen's got a few good years. Claypool's not very good, but this team will have to draft a wide receiver to, I think, complete out what they need to do. But
they would absolutely be able to do that
Not
as the 8th pick. Like hypothetically, if the draft moved backwards for rookie draft, I mean, they'd be able to grab themselves a rookie wide receiver who could make an impact.
Yeah. So there we go. First mock draft is completed.
And we'll do some more once the season actually gets going again.
Yeah. Bring us 3 back up. Okay. Well, do we want to quickly talk about the playoffs? Quickly?
Should we do a 1-minute recap for each of our teams?
Sure. We can do a 1 minute.
All right. You guys go first.
I'm done talking about the Bears. I'm in retirement for that.
I said all I needed to say about the Browns last week, and
we needed Joe's input on Nagy being fired because he's fired now. Like you're gonna have a new coach.
That was the most glorious news I've had in a long time. I was very happy to see that, and Ryan Pace go. We're interviewing a lot of people. Nagy, I wish him well. I wish Nagy well wherever he goes. I think the players really like him. I think he's a good football guy, but he is not a head coach. So good riddance there. And Ryan Pace, you hit on a couple late round draft picks and people think you're a god. Have fun in your future endeavors. It's time for something new.
Time out. He's actually good at drafting rookie running backs as well.
Yeah. No, 5th round running backs, he's your guy. Anything else? No.
Yeah, you don't want anything else. You need advice in your 5th round running backs. Feel free to get our guy Pace. All right. Well, anyway, let's talk about the team that's still in the playoffs. No offense, guys. This isn't a stab at you guys. Joe's on his phone. He doesn't even care anymore. Let's
talk about the Eagles.
Let's just get your dog masks out and put them on because the Philadelphia underdogs are here once again. And we're in the playoffs, man. And the -9 that they're giving us right now is just reminiscent of 2017 year.
It moved to 8.5.
Playoffs. Oh, we got 0.5 back. I'm really happy about that. No, I'm just best of luck. I'm glad to see us in the playoffs. And honestly, we couldn't have matched up with a better team to at least have a chance other than no, we couldn't have had a better chance with anyone else in the top 5. So let's go Birds. We'll see what happens.
Fair enough. All right, let's quickly run through these games. Raiders, Bengals. Who do you got?
Bengals, obviously.
Bengals.
I have Bengals as well. Pretty clean sweep there. All right. Saturday night game, Patriots, Bills.
Bills.
That's a toss-up for me. I'm not going to pick a team.
I'm going Patriots. All right,
That's what I'm saying.
Fireball
Sunday.
bet.
Sure, I'll do that.
All right, write her down.
Patriots aren't very good, so I'm
You got
betting.
like $300 going on that, so you should definitely add a
I mean,
fireball.
I hope
to
they
it.
win, so I'm gonna keep betting on them. All right, Eagles, Bucks.
Eagles.
Fair enough.
Anyone?
I hope the Eagles win.
Fireball bet?
Yeah.
Well,
Write it down.
okay. I hope the Eagles win. Problem is, Bucks are really good at stopping the run, and that's what the Eagles do. But we'll see. Maybe they can overcome.
A couple people. No, time out. You brought it up. A couple people coming back from injury here. Leonard Fournette, not the same as what he has been beforehand. Their run defense was number 1 when we played them, and it's number 16 now. And we are good at running the ball.
They
Vita
also got
Vea
Shaq
is going
Barrett
to
back.
pick Miles Sanders up and chew off his hamstring.
Well, good
so.
thing we have 7 other running backs. We'll be fine.
Yep. 49ers, Cowboys.
Cowboys.
49ers.
I have the Niners as well. I think Cowboys are not ready for this defense, and I'm just going to be completely honest.
I think that's going to be a sloppy game.
Cowboys choke in the playoffs all the time.
I don't think so. I think
would
the
never bet
Cowboys
on
are going to be proven frauds. Steelers, Chiefs.
Chiefs.
How the hell did this get
Obviously.
to the primetime game?
Oh.
How the hell did this
You
get
guys
to
think the
primetime
Chiefs are
game?
gonna
Big Ben's last game, man. Prime
Wait,
time.
Yeah,
You guys are thinking the Chiefs are going to win?
easily.
But you guys were all talking shit on the Chiefs in the beginning of the year.
I never talk shit.
Okay, but they're playing the Steelers. I mean, you put them against even the Eagles, I'd say it's a discussion.
Don't
Thanks,
put me
man.
in the boat of people talking shit on the Chiefs.
Actually,
That
the
was
Chiefs wrecked us. We had no
The
chance.
Chiefs
All
are literally playing the worst playoff team.
right. Debatable. The Raiders might be. But yeah.
The Raiders are way better than the Steelers. Steelers suck. They're terrible.
It's fair.
And then the last one, Cardinals, Rams.
I want to say Rams, but like
I think it's
honestly,
Cardinals because Stafford has choke written all over him.
I would love to see Stafford win his first playoff game. But I don't want to see him win a Super Bowl. So at the same time, I want to go Cardinals.
Interesting.
Fuck Stan. Fuck Kroenke. Live on the air.
Yeah, fuck Stan Kroenke, but they're gonna win. Rams.
I mean, it's possible. You think Stafford, you think playoff game, you think disaster written all over it. That's just me.
I think
personally,
Aaron
though.
Donald is probably the worst matchup for Kyler Murray ever, just because he's so massive and Kyler's so short. And when he plugs the middle up like that, it's not good.
True. Plus, no D Hop. Going to be interesting this time around. But okay, well, follow us at Offensive Points on Twitter. Follow at Ombre Vendor, at OP Economist, or at Josh Hall STL on Twitter. Also follow Semi Pro Fantasy on Twitter, because that is the parent company, the one that keeps the lights on this podcast. So, Joe, you want to get us out of here of our first live show?
Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the mock. If you have any questions or want to chew us out for the picks we made, feel free to reach out. We're always listening. Anyway, it was fun riding with you. We'll see you next week.
Leave comments below. Let us know who won, who lost,
Go Birds.
and subscribe.